It began not with a thunderous revelation or a cascade of light across the night sky, but with a whisper, a faint streak captured by a vigilant telescope in the crisp Andean air of Chile, slicing through the digital feed like a ghost in the machine. On July 1st, 2025, the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, or ATLAS, a network of robotic sentinels funded by NASA and scattered across the globe, locked onto an anomaly. At first glance, it was just another dot among billions, hurtling at 137,000 miles per hour from the direction of Sagittarius, roughly 410 million miles from the Sun, nestled within Jupiter's orbital embrace. But as the data poured in, pre-discovery frames from late June, unearthed from Atlas archives in Hawaii, South Africa, and Chile, corroborated by Caltech's Zwicky Transient Facility, the truth unfurled like a forbidden scroll. This was no solar system stray. Its velocity, its hyperbolic trajectory defying the sun's gravitational tether, marked it as an exile from the stars, the third confirmed interstellar object ever to breach our cosmic borders. Designated 3I/ATLAS by the Minor Planet Center, it evoked echoes of its predecessors. Oumuamua in 2017, the enigmatic cigar tumbling silently. 2I/Borisov in 2019, a more familiar comet with a gaseous sigh. Yet 3I/ATLAS stirred something deeper, a primal unease. For as telescopes worldwide swiveled to track it, preliminary spectra hinted at activity, a marginal coma, a faint elongation suggesting dust and gas unfurling like hesitant breath. And then in the infrared gaze of the James Webb Space Telescope came the signal, not a blare, but a pulse, rhythmic and unrelenting, carrying whispers of carbon dioxide in abundances that no comet from our own Oort cloud had ever confessed. In that moment, the veil between the known and the unknowable thinned, and humanity, peering into the void, felt the void peering back. The discovery unfolded with the quiet precision of a detective piecing together a case from shadows. Atlas, designed to hunt Earth-threatening rocks, had serendipitously netted this wanderer, its path retroactively traced through archived images back to June 5th, when it lurked obscured against the dense star fields of the galactic center. Amateur astronomer Sam Dean sifted those frames, revealing the comet's stealthy approach, evading detection until Rio Hurtado's clear skies betrayed it. By July 2nd, confirmation cascaded. Observations from Chile's Deep Random Survey, Arizona's Lowell Discovery Telescope, and Mauna Kea's Canada-France-Hawaii Telescope unveiled the coma, a diffuse halo 3 arcseconds long, reddish from irradiated organics akin to tholins, the same spectral blush that tinted Borisov. David Jewett and Jane Liu, wielding the Nordic Optical Telescope, declared it clearly active, its nucleus shrouded in a veil of dust grains. Micron-size flecks ejected at 22 meters per second. Larger 100-micron boulders drifting at a leisurely 2 meters per second. At 17th to 18th magnitude, faint to all but the most patient eyes, 3I/ATLAS was no spectacle for backyard scopes, yet its velocity, 60 kilometers per second relative to the sun, screamed of origins beyond our stellar neighborhood. Backtracking its arc, astronomers at the European Space Agency's Planetary Defense Office plotted its provenance. Likely the Milky Way's thin disk, or perhaps the thicker, ancient layer, implying an age of 7 billion years, predating our solar system by 2 billion. It had slingshotted past no known stars, adrift in the interstellar chill, its ices, carbon dioxide, perhaps water, carbon monoxide, untouched by stellar fire until now. No threat to Earth, its closest whisper on December 19 at 270 million kilometers. Yet in its passage, it dragged the weight of eons, a relic challenging our assumptions about cometary birth. Was it a frozen echo of a distant protoplanetary disk, or something sculpted by forces we had yet to name? As ground stations in Hawaii, Chile, and Australia fed data to the Minor Planet Center, the world held its breath, for 3I/ATLAS was not merely visiting. It was revealing. Imagine the hush in mission control rooms from Pasadena to Darmstadt, screens aglow with trajectories etched in glowing lines as the object revealed its form. Unlike Oumuamua's barren silence, no coma, no tail, just anomalous acceleration defying gravity's pull. 3I/ATLAS wore its activity like a shroud, its coma expanding subtly under Vera C. Rubin. Observatory's serendipitous gaze during science validation runs from June 21st to July 3rd. If Rubin had fired up 2 weeks sooner, it might have claimed the discovery, underscoring how these intruders tease our vigilance. Hubble's July 21st snapshot from 277 million miles away pierced the veil. A teardrop cocoon of dust cloaking an unseen nucleus, estimated at 1,000 feet to 3.5 miles across, shedding 6 kilograms of fine particles and 60 kilograms of coarser ejecta per second. No fragmentation yet. No outbursts like Borisov's dramatic split in March 2020, observed by Hubble as a rogue chunk peeled away. But the potential loomed. ESA's Trace Gas Orbiter and Mars Express, poised for the comet's October 3rd flyby at a tantalizing 30 million kilometers from the red planet, captured faint glows, though Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter's data, tantalizingly, vanished into NASA's funding-fueled blackout. These images, processed in real time, evoked a quiet awe. A body billions of years old, its surface etched by cosmic rays, now stirring under Sol's hesitant warmth. Yet beneath the scientific thrill pulsed an undercurrent of disquiet. Interstellar objects were no longer theoretical. 3 and 8 years suggested a hidden flux, perhaps 5 to 50 more, by 2035 via Rubin alone. Each carried chemistry from alien nurseries. Borisov's high carbon monoxide hinting at a red dwarf's frigid fringe, and 3I/ATLAS promised more. As it coasted inward, its hyperbolic eccentricity of 3.36 dwarfing Oumuamua's 1.2, astronomers wondered, was this a comet's routine rebirth or a harbinger of diversity in the galaxy's debris? Then came James Webb, the crown jewel of infrared astronomy, its golden mirror unfurling like a lotus in 2021 to drink the universe's ancient light. On August 6, 2025, Webb's near-infrared spectrograph, NIR's spec, locked on, a feat of precision orchestrated by ESA's Marco Micheli, whose trajectory refinements squeezed the comet into NIR SPEC's pinpoint field of view. The data, a preprint racing online, unveiled a composition that sent ripples through the community. Carbon dioxide in ratios to water unprecedented among solar system comets, alongside traces of water ice, vapor, carbon monoxide, and carbonyl sulfide. No ordinary profile, this was a relic from a colder genesis, perhaps the Kuiper Belt analog of another system, where CO2 dominated over H2O by factors unseen in our own icy wanderers. NASA's planetary scientist Dr. Emily Saunders called it a monument once in a lifetime, a fragment decoding a star system through observation under wholly alien conditions. SphereX, NASA's fresh spectrophotometer for the history of the universe, epic of reionization and ICE's Explorer, chimed in from August 7th to 15th, its multispectral sweep confirming the bounty. Volatiles sublimating at distances where our comet slumbered, suggesting 3I/ATLAS harbored hypervolatile CO and CO2, igniting activity at 4.4 AU and building to a crescendo by perihelion. Yet it was the emissions that chilled. Atomic nickel vapor, detected by the Very Large Telescope on July 20th, surging alongside cyanide by August 14, mirroring Borisov but absent iron, a rarity, as nickel and iron typically outgas in tandem. Concentrations rose steadily from 4.4 to 2.85 AU, a rapid and steady escalation, painting a portrait of a nucleus awakening, its ices fracturing under solar heat. No tholins alone explain the reddish coma. Webb hinted at organics transformed by eons of radiation, a canvas of polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, perhaps, precursors to life's building blocks. In Pasadena's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, analysts pored over spectra, hearts quickening at the implications. This wasn't just chemistry. It was a snapshot of exoplanetary dawn, a bridge across a light years. But as the numbers aligned, a shadow crept in. Could such purity, such anomaly, whisper of design? The emotional weight settled like frost on a window pane, a mix of exhilaration and existential vertigo. For young astronomers glued to feeds from Mauna Kea or Palomar, 3I/ATLAS was a siren call, a reminder that the cosmos conspires to humble us. Picture the late-night huddles in Cambridge, where Harvard's Avi Loeb, ever the provocateur, revived whispers from Oumuamua's 2017 passage. That first visitor, elongated and tumbling, accelerated San's visible outgassing, its non-Keplerian drift fueling Loeb's 2018 paper positing an artificial light sail, a defunct probe from afar. SETI's Allen telescope array scanned for radio pings in 1 to 10 gigahertz, finding silence. Yet Loeb persisted, cataloging 6 anomalies: shape, reflectivity, emission, orbit, no coma, tumbling. Nitrogen ice theories followed in 2021, a Pluto-like shard eroding invisibly, but Loeb countered, the rarity of N2 fragments defied statistics. Borisov tempered the frenzy, a bona fide comet with a tail and familiar vapors, fragmenting obligingly for Hubble. But 3I/ATLAS, its CO2 dominance, nickel surplus, evoked Oumuamua's enigmas anew. Loeb's recent musings in a preprint musing on alien technology flagged the polarization. Webb's data showed light scattering oddly pristine, akin to Hale-Bopp's 1997 glow, suggesting minimal stellar weathering. Benign or malign, he pondered, consequences dire if intentional. NASA rebuffed acting administrator Sean Duffy, tweeting on October 30th, "No aliens, no threat." Yet in private chats, ESA teams murmured of exotic matter, while SETI's Seth Shostak, scanning anew, admitted the thrill. Each visitor tests our priors. The public pulse quickened, Kim Kardashian querying Duffy, social feeds ablaze with hashtag 3iAtlas speculation. For the 18 to 34 crowd, raised on exoplanet feeds and Mars rover selfies, this was emotional alchemy, science's thriller, turning data into dread. Was it mere serendipity or a pattern? 3 intruders in 8 years, each more revealing, stirring a collective gasp. What if they weren't accidents, but envoys? As perihelion loomed on October 30th, 2025, the drama intensified, a slow burn crescendo mirroring the comet's inexorable plunge. From 670 million kilometers at discovery, 3I/ATLAS dove to 1.36 astronomical units between Earth and Mars, its activity peaking in solar proximity. Ground telescopes lost it to glare by September, but space assets filled the void. Webb's infrared pierced the blaze, capturing jets, giant plumes arcing sunward, water vapor like a fire hose per Live Science reports, coma swelling to arc minutes. Post-perihelion. On Halloween from Lowell's Discovery Telescope, Chicheng Zhang snagged the first optical glimpse, a bright white dot, distorted star trails betraying motion, northward from the northeastern horizon. No naked eye show, but for scopes, a beacon at magnitude 13.8, 2.3 arc minutes wide per Comet Observer's database. ESA's Mars Orbiters, TGO and Mars Express, nabbed frames October 1st to 7th, TGO's camera etching a faint glow despite low exposures. NASA's shutdown veiled MRO's take, but models projected no outbursts. Yet the potential haunted, Borisov's 2020 split a cautionary specter. Emotional peaks crested here, the awe of witnessing rebirth, ice is sublimating after billions of years, volatiles birthing a tale unseen from Earth. Scientists like IAC's Miguel R. Alarcón, spotting activity July 2nd via Tetis twin scopes, felt the pulse of history, a body from the galaxy's thick disk, 7 billion years old, now alive in our light. But unease threaded the joy. Nickel without iron, CO2 eclipsing water, hinted at formation in a disk starved of oxygen, perhaps around a red dwarf where chemistry skewed exotic. In think tanks from JPL to JAXA, whispers grew. Could this purity signal panspermia, life's seeds flung across voids? No, qualifiers abounded. Preliminary findings, based on available data. Yet the heart raced, for in studying 3I/ATLAS, we confronted our isolation, a speck in the interstellar stream. Deeper into the data delved the theorists, unearthing layers that blurred fact and frontier. Webb's August spectra, cross-referenced with VLT's July-August runs, quantified the surge. Cyanide and nickel climbing as solar distance halved, outgassing rates implying a nucleus 6 to 10 miles wide per Rubin's constraints. Dust dynamics fascinated, small grains fleeing fast, large lingering slow, sculpting a coma polarized like untouched snow, per 2021 Borisov parallels. No iron, unusual, yes, but not impossible. Solar system comets vary, and 3I/ATLAS's interstellar pedigree amplified the oddity. Emotional core deepened. The revelation that this was no outlier, but a pristine archive, transformed by billions of years of space radiation, Live Science noted, its organics irradiated into tholins, reddish and resilient. SphereX's multispectral map echoed Webb, CO, CO2, OCS, volatiles evoking Pluto's belt, yet ratios screaming alien. A surprising reveal emerged October 12th. ESA's Mars orbiters detected a glowing coma from afar, faint but irrefutable, as 3I/ATLAS grazed the red planet's vicinity. No interaction, no peril, but the imagery, streaks of background stars, a satellite photobomb, evoked cinematic isolation, a lone Voyager brushing worlds. For enthusiasts, this was gold. Technical depth in eccentricity, 3.36. Inclination, projected 112 degrees for kin, like C/2025 V1 Borisov. Velocity vectors, yet the human thread pulled taut. Loeb's portal to speculation, NASA's grounded retorts. In Auckland or Berlin, young minds dissected preprints, debating if CO2 richness implied a water-poor parent body, a disk where carbon ruled. The mystery deepened emotional stakes, not just data but destiny. What if these visitors mapped habitability, seeding questions of our place? Climax built as 3I/ATLAS crested perihelion, a silent storm in solar glare, its secrets spilling in infrared torrents. Webb revisited in late October, near-spec drinking the blaze, unveiling jets, carbonaceous plumes rocketing sunward, water loss accelerating like a breached dam. No fragmentation, but coma diameter swelled, brightness peaking pre-dawn southern skies. Post-glare recovery on November 3rd from Lowell. Zhang's frame, comet as crisp dot, motion warp star above, a visual handshake across voids. Global anxiety crested, not fear of collision, Duffy's assurances firm, but of the unknown. Leaked ESA chats, per Euronews, floated consciousness engine hyperbole, but grounded voices prevailed. A seed ship, perhaps, organics pure as prebiotic soup. Polycyclic aromatics, Webb's ghost, evoked RNA precursors, life's alphabet from afar. Emotional peak, the realization, per Saunders, that we decipher conditions entirely different from ours. Nickel emissions, VLT tracked, hit solar system norms, yet iron's absence nagged, a compositional quirk or clue to an oxic birth. As it veered outbound, trajectory locked for interstellar exile, the cliffhanger loomed, a secondary burst, low frequency, moonward? No, speculation, but lunar mascons flickered in models, ancient scars perhaps resonating. In JAXA Hall's Blue Origin labs, the fervor peaked. This was rehearsal for Comet Interceptor, ESA's 2029 Sentinel, awaiting the next. Heart-pounding, yes. For in 3I/ATLAS's fade, we glimpsed infinity's indifference, yet our unyielding gaze. Resolution dawned reflective. the comet's outbound arc a metaphor for fleeting wonder. By November 8, 2025, 3I/ATLAS dims, visible to scopes till December's end, then gone, back to the black 9,000 years per light year. Lessons crystallized, diversity in interstellar flotsam, Oumuamua's barren thrust, Borisov's familiar sigh, 3I/ATLAS's volatile heart. NASA's fleet, Hubble-sizing nuclei, Webb-probing ices, Sphere-X mapping spectra, proves our readiness, a symphony of agencies from ESA to JAXA harmonizing data. No pseudoscience here. Qualifiers anchor, according to preliminary findings reported by VLT. Yet the emotional resonance lingers, awe at eons encoded in ice, dread at our smallness. For young adults devouring true science tales, it's galvanizing. These visitors aren't threats but teachers, urging deeper cosmic literacy. As it broadcasts no malice, Duffy's tweet a balm, the true terror dissolves into inspiration. What worlds birth this? How many more lurk? And so, as 3I/ATLAS slips away, we stand at the threshold, telescopes trained outward, hearts alight with questions unasked. What other messengers await in the dark? Share your thoughts below. Have you spotted it through your scope? Subscribe for the next Cosmic Dispatch. Comment your wildest theory grounded in fact, and let's unravel the stars together. In the end, it's not the signal that terrifies, but the silence it breaks, inviting us to listen closer, dream bolder, reach farther. Information updated.